it is the call is routed to the preferably the same agent the customer speaks to regularly, so that there is a personal rapport also gets built up. So you always hunt for the same agent if the agent is logged on. If no, then we at least have three, second and third preference there. So this we did for a set of customers, and now we are extending to other set of customers. So this is something that really was appreciated by customers, because they are able to interact on the contact center, not be required to put in a lot of stuff and be recognized. Now, building from here is that while on all other things, the innovations that we did, we used a lot of our partners, a lot of our technology service providers to do that work with us. But aspect decision was this need for us to directly connect customers. The second one was again the unified piece, because in our earlier avatar we had separate CTI, we had IVR running separately, right? Voice logger is running separately. So one was the whole advantage of putting everything together and having one solution in one place running the whole stuff. So that was one of the convergence was one of the needs that we had. Other than that, the needs that we had is we wanted to have a single national number. Prior we had multiple numbers for various states, geographies. We wanted to bring in our multilingual capability there. We wanted to store customers' preferences. So if a guy is calling and he wants to be the IVR to be in Tamil, he wants to converse in Tamil, then can I store that preference and play it out always in Tamil every time the customer calls in? Contact center expansion, and I will talk of the architecture later, is that how you can grow it seamlessly and grow it at multiple locations. Direct connect I talked of, and definitely a real-time DR capability for us. Why did we choose Aspect at that point in time? First one was again the unified nature of the whole software. One place, one solution, one neck to catch, and everything not running across and interfaces failing. That was one of our prime advantages that we saw here, and I think many people other than, and I think you also put it as one of your strengths out there. Second was again a single platform, single vendor, single platform for everything running on that. Then getting to the next part, we wanted to a simple for the IVR definitions, because IVR definitions it's quite dynamic, you have to change. And there is a tool that comes along with that, so that you can do at your end and you can change those flows. Fourthly, here was the thing about real-time DR capability for us, and lastly the real-time monitoring stats that you can get and basically act upon it in real time. So these were one of the the top 5 elements that we saw at that point in time to select Aspect. Architecture wise, what we have done is we have 2 sites. Right now they are not active, but Mumbai is our primary site, Chennai is the DR. Next one is again what we talked of is that can you put out, rather than just saying this is our contact center number, various channels or various means that the customer can connect to you, along with the TATs or SLAs which are available at that point in time, and the customer can choose how the customer wants you to connect back. So that is there. And then I think there's various solutions that we talked about, we are also in discussion with them. So the workspace collaboration there, learning and knowledge base is another a portal based capability to put all your learning and knowledge stuff. Workforce management, I think everybody's talked about that, that's there. And the back office processing integration as well as optimization. So that is something that we'll bring in, but again some of the innovations are in line first, and once that comes in, I think then the case gets made for other things to follow soon. So overall in the roadmap that we see immediately, this is very prime, improving the customer experience, that is the first one. So improving the customer experience is the first thing. Growing the relationship with the customer through customer engagement and customer experience is the second. Okay, delivering the brand promise. So when you innovate, okay, similarly what we kind of could feel with the movies and the books written, what Chetan was. So there is an expectation that gets built. Okay, it is about that feeling the customer gets, and the customer is expecting the same thing, and you have to keep repeating that. So that you have to continue to do through innovation, trying to deliver the same feeling time and time again to keep that energy up. And lastly, cost is very, very important, and optimizing the cost, and that is always a discussion going on with our Anurag sitting out here. So that will continue. And And then, the workforce optimization piece, that again is what we are talking of with them, is to then, bring about the combined force of unified customer contact with the WFM and being able to, optimize how the workforce. So this is more about, I would say, managing organizational efficiencies by routing the right stuff to the right skill sets. So rather than being reactive to, how things have come in, being proactive about it and being able to manage the organization skill sets to manage the incoming demand on you. Because, mostly the nature of a contact center, or these are all real time. Once lost, it's lost. It's not that it's a white mail that if I am not able to process in the morning, I'll process in the afternoon or process in the evening. So that is where, this, I think, whole thing comes very, very important. And lastly here, which we are also trying to sync up with aspect now, is that we also have a lot of, Microsoft platforms working with us, Link, SharePoint, SQL, all that is existing. So, we were having a discussion with them some time back, how to leverage on that and to bring in the next level of not only customer-facing innovations, but also internal employee-driven innovations. And on top, I think this is the aspect, so getting onto the next generation contact center application, which we talked about. So right now, what we will focus on with them is on this layer, how to bring in that collaboration internally to drive, one, the enthusiasm of the workforce inside the organization, and also to bring in the optimizations from that aspect. So that's all that I wanted to share with you. I hope I have been able to convey that story.
Mridul, thank you very much. I think from the amount of questions, it shows the interest.
Thank you.